make sure you guys check out www.procivic.com for all your 9th gen and Civic needs. And also make sure you guys check out www.blinkingbrakelights.com for blinking brake light tail bulbs, which can help you better be seen and safe out in traffic. Use the code GOT10 at checkout for 10% off. Alrighty. So I decided that I wanted to make a quick vlog before it gets dark. So give me like a second here. God, I hate parking nose first for this very reason. It's sketchy, but I was in a rush this morning, so here we go. So as you can see, I'm dressed all nicely, but that's because I'm just coming back from work. Yip-de-doo. And then I have approximately 10 minutes. That's how blessed I am, man. God bless. I work not too far from my home. Cannot be more thankful. But anyways, so I'm going to be talking about something it's a question I receive a lot. And it's, am I ever going to do a drift build? The simple answer to that is no. And I'm going to take a few minutes here to explain to you guys why. Now, before I get a bunch of butthurt drift nuts in my comment section and a bunch of butthurt drift nuts disliking my videos, let me make it real clear to you guys something. I love watching drifting. I don't know what it is, but ever since I went to that drift event with Amar, I liked watching it. I liked riding in the car. It felt like I was on a roller coaster. I loved it. Now, one of the things that my dad told me as soon as I uploaded that first video, I'll link it on the top right hand corner of your screen now, is, Edward, it's something I would love to watch, and I loved watching it, but it's never something I do. And I agree with him. There are several things, and even my dad told me, he said, look, autocross is fun and all, I like watching it, I personally wouldn't do it. Okay, so people they have their own opinions, even on autocross. So please, respect mine, and give me like 2 minutes to explain. So I love watching drifting. I mean, I went to Englishtown, I went to Shenandoah Raceway to watch drifting. Man, look, I even watched street drifting. Shout out to my boy Peter. But look, there's just some things that are meant for some people, and what's meant for those people are not meant for me. Just because I like watching drifting, I think, in my humble opinion, it's a waste of time and money. Now, a lot of you are going to say, oh, but you can say the same thing about autocross. Yes, I agree with you. All right? But autocross and drifting are like comparing apples to oranges. Okay? With autocross, you don't waste tires and gas all that much. With drifting, you do. With autocross, you're not at very high RPMs, like majority of the time. So one of the things that really turned me off from drifting was the simple fact that it just costs a lot of money to do. Yes, I mean, okay, call me poor and things like that. Yes, it's true. I just personally wouldn't want to waste money on it. That's tires, that's car parts, that's blown motors left and right, because believe it or not, if you're in a drift community, man, you are lying to me if you say that you've never blown up an engine once drifting a car. Okay, so yes, I know there's some grassroots drifters, okay, that do drift on an occasional basis that don't blow up their engines. But if you drift on a regular basis, you're gonna blow up your engine, and you're gonna have to rebuild it, rinse and repeat. That's, I mean, look at Adam LZ. He had to rebuild his SR twice, people. And look how many transmissions he already went through 2 transmissions as well, not to mention. So drifting takes a lot of stress, a lot more stress on a car as opposed to autocross. That's why I'm a big fan of autocross and not drifting, because I'm not putting so much stress on my car as opposed to drifting. Another thing that really, now look, the autocross community and the drifting community, I love them both. The drifting community I love a little more, because you guys are you guys treat each other like family. It's crazy. With autocross, it's competitive. It's a competitive nature. We're competing for the best time. So ultimately, we kind of look at each other with a mean eye, if you get what I'm saying. But with drifting, you're not really racing for much of anything. You're just there to have fun. So everybody gets along with each other, which is awesome. I love it. But I wouldn't be a driver. I wouldn't own a car to drift it. It's just not me. Okay? You're going into every drift event with the risk of totaling your car. That's just the reality of it. Because, I mean, you're sliding the car. You're controlling the uncontrollable, if you get what I'm saying, because you're sliding the car. That's technically not being in control of the car, but you still technically are, because you're adjusting the steering. One little small mistake could have you end up at the wall. Now, again, you can make the same argument for autocross. The whole idea of drifting, it's expensive in its own right, and we all know why. I don't really need to explain that. But another thing that really bothers me, drifting has ruined a certain number of cars. Drifting has ruined the E36 chassis BMW, and drifting has ruined the S chassis, and drifting has ruined, to a certain extent, the Miata. Now, you tell me why. Because, again, you're going into every event basically redlining the car half the time. You're going into every event shredding tires. You're going into every event risking totaling your car. Some people do kind of wall tap, and even though that sounds cool on the surface, but when you go to resell said car, it's not worth that much. That's just the reality of it. It's not worth that much. It's not worth that much to me. It's not worth that much to any other person who wants to buy that car. That car is now considered a project because you decided to wall tap it. That's just the reality of it. And what's amazing to me is that a lot of people think that these cars are worth $5 to $6 grand after the fact. Yeah, I could get into this whole tangent of drift tax and things like that, but I mean, let's be honest with each other. Drift tax is ridiculous. I'm not paying $6 grand for a non-color matching 240 that does not have a clean title and looks like it's been totaled 3 or 4 times. I'm just not doing it. Am I the only person that would buy a 240 and build it for the streets and never slide it? Is that just me? I mean, look, drifting is for some people. Drifting is just not for me. So don't expect to see a drift build on this channel. And I stress that very strongly. It is not happening. So if you're here for that, you might as well just unsubscribe now, because it's not happening. Period. Now, just because I'm not drifting, again, does not mean I don't like drifting. I love drifting as a sport. I love watching it. I love being a part of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't see me driving 3 hours north to Englishtown just to watch people slide around. By myself. I was not even with friends. I didn't even expect to see Chris Ruddick. I didn't expect to see Chris Fix. I was going there to watch a drift event. Genuinely. I seriously was just genuinely going there. I didn't know that they were both going to be there. It just happened. Okay? So, I love watching the sport, but I just would not do it. It's a waste of money for me. There's a lot of more investments I can make with that kind of money. So, let me know. I mean, it's a whole different thing. It's the sport itself is very expensive, and on top of that, People drift with 240s for a reason, because 240s 9 times out of 10 have a 50-50 weight distribution and makes it more controllable during slides, not to mention the aftermarket support for 240s are insane. But to me, that still doesn't justify how expensive the car is. If you find up a beat up example, let's say high mileage, beat the shit 240, it's still gonna run me $3 or $4 grand, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not trying to buy, I mean, will you probably see a 240 on this channel in the future? Probably, because I want one. 240s are sexy cars, in my opinion. They are the sexiest car I've ever seen. They're so easy to put multiple engines in. You could put a V8 in it. You could put an inline 6. You could put an SR20 or any inline 4 in it. It's insane, right? So of course, a 240 is a tuner's wet dream. But I'm not gonna buy a beat up old 240 SX for $6 grand. Put another $4 to $5 grand in it, when the car at the end of the day is only really going to be worth $3,500, because I'm not going to slide it. Let's face it, I'm not going to slide it. It's going to be in mint condition. It's only going to be worth realistically $3,500 at the end of the day. So if I'm going to invest that kind of money in a 240, I'm not going to invest more money and lose more of my money and waste more of my time doing something that can be gone in an instant. Like, just one single mishap can blow my motor. One single mishap, I could break my tranny, break my diff, smash it into a wall, you name it. But to me, all that risk is just not worth it. It's not. It's just not to me. Now look, if you're out there and you're balling on a budget and you're out there drifting, more power to you, man. More power to you. But I'm not a baller on a budget. I'm just not gonna waste my money on that. And I need to fill up the gas. Whatever, I'll do that tomorrow. But anyways, so overall, don't expect to see a drift build on this channel. And this is the reason why. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's down in the description below. This has been your boy, Gautam Aliga, and I'm out. Peace.